Oh, happy days. Oh, sorry, folks. I felt as if I'd channel Lutuli House at the moment. After South Africa's Constitutional Court at 10 a.m. on the 20th of December 2021 saved the ANC's bacon once again, and the Independent Electoral Commission, who has reopened the candidate registration window after twice extending it for the corrupt, incompetent, failing African National Congress, who did not register candidates for 90 wards. So now they get a third bite at the apple, courtesy of the Constitutional Court ruling. The court found that the Democratic Alliance's urgent application to have this declared invalid. The Constitutional Court held that the decision of the Electoral Commission to reopen the candidate nomination process for the 2021 municipal elections in terms of the court's order issued back on the 3rd of September is not unconstitutional, not unlawful, and not invalid. Well, that's unfortunate. The African National Congress is celebrating, dancing in the halls of Lutuli House because their bacon has been saved. Their incompetence is rewarded with another opportunity to register candidates. For their part, the Democratic Alliance and the Inkatha Freedom Party are not happy. They were supported in this application, not just those two groups, but also the Economic Freedom Fighters supported the DA application, the African Transformation Movement, and the South African Institute of Race Relations all supported this decision. In a unanimous decision, the court decided that it was not unconstitutional or invalid for the IEC to reopen the window. Strangely, this same IEC just a few weeks ago sought to have this election postponed, because they said it wasn't free and fair. It was impossible to hold a free and fair election, despite the fact that all over Africa people are doing it left and right. We just had another election in Zambia. They said it wouldn't be free and fair to hold this election, and they couldn't accomplish everything. In fact, they said they couldn't reopen the window to register candidates. There wasn't time. For their part, John Steenhuisen and the DA's federal council chairperson, Helen Zille, said that they find it highly suspicious and interesting that the Independent Electoral Commission, in their court papers for the unsuccessful application to postpone the elections, argued that they couldn't reopen the voter registration and candidate registration processes. But after that ruling, and when the ANC failed to register all their candidates, suddenly they managed to do just that. That is exactly the point I've been making in my analysis over and over again of this corrupt process here. The Independent Electoral Commission cannot possibly be honestly considered independent. Clearly, there's something going on here. They argued they're not able to hold an election. Then when they're overridden by the court, and they're not told to reopen a process, suddenly they have time to reopen the process they said they didn't have time for. That was the basis of their argument for not having elections in October or to the 1st of November. They couldn't accomplish reopening this. They couldn't accomplish a voter registration weekend. Well, son of a gun. They did screw it up royally, the voter registration weekend over this past weekend, but they held one, and they've reopened candidate registration. There are some serious cases of Pinocchioitis in the Independent Electoral Commission. For their part, the Democratic Alliance says that they'll watch the IEC like a hawk during these elections. Well, don't I just feel better? I think we need some independent observers there to make sure ballot boxes aren't stuffed. Really, really starting to wonder what's going on with this. The IEC said they couldn't hold elections. They couldn't extend voter registration. They couldn't reopen candidate registration, yet they've done all of that. Magically, the court says do it, and they do it. Now, interestingly enough, the decision in this case, while they dismissed components of it, they did leave open one position, and that was that the Democratic Alliance argued that this decision by the IEC was biased in favor of the African National Congress. And by not dismissing this charge and leaving an open-ended question, the Constitutional Court has left the possibility of leaving the window open or leaving the door open for a future challenge about whether elections are free and fair, because the ANC was able to add candidates to the roster after the window had closed. Well, never mind all the legalities. As we said, the Constitutional Court said that this is legal. It's not unconstitutional. Well, it's certainly immoral. It's certainly bankrupt. How can the Independent Electoral Commission, with even a remotely straight face, tell the court that it's okay for them to do this? And how can the court say it's okay after this same organization came to the court just a few weeks ago and demanded that the elections be postponed until February or later because they can't reopen the window for candidates? Parties couldn't get candidates registered. Well, let's be honest. The only two parties that really suffered under this were the United Democratic Movement and, notably, the African National Congress, who failed to register candidates in 90 wards across the country. They would not win in 90 wards for certain were it not for this immoral, permissive opportunity for the ANC to register candidates. And they're still having trouble getting it done. Folks, this is bankrupt. This is bankrupt. This is so sad to see. This is a body that historically has been above reproach. It's clearly in need of some sunlight and transparency, the Independent Electoral Commission. Something strange is going on there, and I'm telling you this now before the November 1st elections, and we see what comes out there. As we see all kinds of polls now saying that both the ANC and the DA are losing support across the country. Something fishy is going on in South Africa. And you heard it here first on Chris Wyatt Africa. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, be sure to become one. Smash that button right down there, become a subscriber and support independent journalism. We thank you for your time, your patronage, as we throw light and sunshine on South Africa's elections in 2021.